Thank you, Scott, for that kind introduction. My name is Lucas Segal. I am a proud HRC Youth Ambassador. I'm 19 years old, and I grew up in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I came out as transgender during the summer before my sophomore year of high school, and I immediately started the name change, wearing men's clothes, and seeing a therapist. Sophomore year was rough. Some of my teachers failed to use the right name and pronouns, even when asked by my administration to do so. Most of the kids at school weren't any better. I sat basically alone or with just one or two friends at lunch. But most importantly, I struggled to find a proper place to use the restroom. The school told me to use the nurse's restroom, but it was too far away to get to class and make it on time. Some guy in my history class even tried to get me voted as homecoming queen. With all these distractions and put-downs, it was very hard to focus in class, and both my grades and my self-esteem suffered. After that school year, I had chest surgery and began hormones, and then legally changed my name and gender. As a result, I felt so much more confident coming into my junior year. When I graduated high school, I was really hoping it was the last time that I would face discrimination and that I would get a fresh start in college at the University of Central Arkansas. My first semester, I was interested in joining the ROTC program as a friend from back home had encouraged me to join. He had told some of the officers my story, and at first, things were great. But about 3 weeks in, the sergeant pulled me into his office and told me I could no longer participate because of the Trump's ban on transgender troops. Immediately, I was disheartened, and it felt unfair, but he made me sign an agreement saying that I understood. The next day, I unenrolled from the program. About 5 months ago, after the ban was lifted, I decided to try to join the Army Reserves. When I showed interest initially, before they knew I was transgender, the recruiters would call and text every day awaiting my application, even offering to go to Hot Springs to pick up a birth certificate for me. However, the night before I was about to go to the military entrance processing station, they told me someone would need to watch me give a urine sample as part of their testing procedures. I panicked, so I called my recruiter, and while shaking, I told him that I was transgender. My recruiter told me that I could still join, but I had to first gather paperwork of all of my surgeries, name changes, gender changes, and other things of that nature. Within a day or two, I got all the extra paperwork together, but they told me that I had to wait an additional 4 weeks to re-enlist. They said someone would call me January 2nd to reschedule an appointment. It's February 16th, and I still haven't heard from any of them. But now, it probably doesn't even matter, because the ban is back. I know that the truth is that they never called me back because of who I was. When they thought I was cisgender, they wanted me, but because I'm not, they don't. But that's okay. They're missing out. I don't need them. In May of 2020, I will be graduating with 2 bachelor's degrees in public administration and political science. I plan to continue my education as well as my advocacy work. My story doesn't stop today or tomorrow, and neither do the transgender and gender-expansive kids that are fighting their own battles and battles that I've fought as well. They need you. Sometimes all it takes is to be their friend, someone that they can trust. But you can also show support in smaller ways, from asking for pronouns and affirming pronouns in class to visible symbols or explicit ground rules that make it clear your classroom or office is an inclusive space. For me, I had one teacher in high school who was always my biggest supporter and role model. She's retired now, but her name is Tanya Bolding, and because of her, I am standing here today talking in front of all of you. When you go home, I encourage you to become someone's Tanya Bolding. It may seem small, but this impact is bigger than you can even imagine. Thank you.